I'm 31 years old and I have been dancing for almost 3 years now. I started taking dances in New York City in April 2022, and I never looked back. I've completely fallen in love with dance, and I love how dance makes me feel, especially in my larger body. And therefore, I'm here to tell you about these 7 dance studios that I have tried out and how they have made me feel and what my experience has been taking classes and learning how to dance, especially in a plus size body, at this skill level, being a late bloomer dancer. So I started off at 404 Fitness because I was a grad student at NYU and it was free, aka it was with our tuition. So if you're an NYU student, take advantage of going to one of their rec centers, and 404 Fitness is one of them. And I believe there's another one that opens that does have the dance classes. Also, they do other dance classes too, but I took their beginner hip hop with Janelle and I absolutely loved it. It really helped me get into my body, just like know the format of a dance class, the warm-ups, the drills and the grooves, and then learning a combo and memorizing choreo and retaining the choreo. And I would have a fun video, lots of fun videos where I'm in the front of class and just having fun and putting my style and my twist to it. And you could really see the growth in like all of my videos. And so I was set up for success taking Janelle's classes, and I eventually took her intermediate classes. And so learning more challenging choreo was so much fun. Loved her pace and the way she would break it down and the way she would do it with us. And so that's something to pay attention to, just like teaching style wise once you start taking dance classes. There's so many different ways. And then I eventually got a class pass, actually within that time that I was taking NYU classes as well. And so Sass Class NYC, it is on West 36th, I believe, and it's on ClassPass. I believe classes are like $24. I know it's not 25 unless they've increased it since I have gone. But what drew me to that, aside from the fact that like I could use, I think it was like 3 credits per class on ClassPass, I liked how there was a class called pop style choreography, and so that's like think what backup dancers do. And so Mary, another fantastic instructor there, she would often like place us in formations, and we would do a lot of traveling across the room as if it's a stage, and she would oftentimes like be holding a water bottle like it's a mic. And so that was super fun. Those classes are 45 minutes. I think the NYU classes were also 45 minutes to an hour, both at 404 Fitness and Sass Class. Very fast paced, very much you learn a combo that's like a minute or less per class, and then that's it. We work on a new piece the next class, or maybe we'll work on the piece again or the rest of the piece in just 2 classes. I just like wanted to live in a piece longer, and I wanted like to like really work on growing my technical skills. Then I was gifted a steps gift certificate for my graduation from my sibling, and I have always dreamt of taking classes at steps, and I've always watched videos from steps, and even to this day there are instructors of the very advanced classes like Jason Williams and Eleanor Scott. There are So You Think You Could Dance alum there, obviously, Broadway alum there, and Broadway stars who take classes there. Joy Woods is in Jason Williams's class often. So I had a lot of hopes and dreams and visions and expectations for my experience at Steps. Here's the thing. Already, as a new dancer and a dancer in a larger body, I I took a lot of classes at Steps. This was like a gift certificate of like hundreds of dollars in this gift certificate. If I did not take the acting intensive, I would have had a really hard time just like going to class to finish those credits, because again, already as a new dancer and a dancer in a larger body, it was hard enough, but to go into the studio and to be in majority of the classes that I took there, to be the only non-white person in the class was really hard. And so that's where I was a little let down, and it felt I did not feel as welcomed as I have been in other dance studios. I know that there is a saying that there is beginner dance classes and then there is New York beginner dance classes, which is actually intermediate, and New York intermediate dance classes are actually advanced, and advanced are actually like over 10 years of professional experience. So even with that said, in a basic contemporary class and in the absolute beginner hip hop classes, the levels were still so skewed, where the speed in which we were going and the moves we were doing, I was actually nervous that I was going to injure myself. And so they were very skilled instructors, great pieces. I had fun. For sure, but I think they could have put in a little bit more effort to provide alternative moves and modifications, not just for different skill levels, but for accessibility needs and safety needs. And there are so many instructors there. And even though I took like a bunch of classes there, I know it does not define that instructor for that class and their whole dance career. I'm just saying that maybe it's going to take me a little bit more time to work on getting my confidence up to be back in a steps class, I guess. I did love my acting intensive there. So shout out to Carl. And we were like a group of 3, but we did like monologue work and we filmed self-tapes and had a great time. So I know they have other offerings like that. They have singing also. So that's another way to hack just like affording singing classes in NYC. So check that out. And maybe when I get to a higher skill level, I will try another dance class at Steps. Then I started taking classes at PMT Dance Studio, which is on West 25th, and their drop-in classes are $20, so a lot cheaper than all the other studios. And if you do class packs, they are even less, and so you really get your money's worth, and their classes are an hour and a half also. And so I started taking Intro to Contemporary with Mac, and this has been I do not miss Fridays, 7:30 PMT Intro to Contemporary with Mac. I love how this is what I wanted. We live in a piece for maybe 3, sometimes 4 weeks. We start off learning it without music, and then we work on building in with music. And then by the last 2 classes, we're working on musicality and performance. And it's really gorgeous. We get to know the song. I just love Mac's teaching style. They are so inclusive of all the different levels, all the different age groups, all the different people and identities in the space. There are a lot of dancers who are more experienced, but they are, taking the class to, just like get some reps in, or they're recovering from an injury. Every class with Mac, there is someone in that class where that's their very first dance class ever. And then there are people like me and my friend Theo, where like we are regulars in that class. And so I just love how Mac makes it's such a fun growing and learning space. I like how we do not just like emotional pieces, but we do like fun, silly pieces too, because that's what contemporary is, because it's like a lot of modern, it's a lot of ballet. It has also gotten me to like merge different styles, and there's a lot of opportunities in Max classes to where there's like dancer's choice. And then with the turns and stuff, Mac always like makes sure, like, you know, when we're ready, or if we're not comfortable doing that, we can just, you know, pivot, or we could just make sure that we end up in one place. And so really never leaving Max Fridays at 7:30 intro to contemporary class. That's what I've been looking for. Just like really beautiful pieces, really beautiful storytelling there. It's like I'm like living my So You Think You Could Dance fantasy. I've also taken a couple classes at Peri Dance, which is also a well-known dance studio with a lot of pioneers teaching there. I've taken a foundations and choreography class there a couple times, and it's just like the rooms are also massive, but then like the windows were like, you know, they weren't open. It was just like getting really warm in there, and I was like, there was some discomfort in that sense. Just needed some air circulation, especially with so many people. So that's something I want you to think about too, like being able to see the instructor, feeling comfortable to raise your hand to ask question. Maybe you do like a class with a lot of people, so you can watch different people, or so you can hide in the back, or so like thinking about the class size that you want. There was just so many people at Peri Dance, but the pieces that I've done there were really fun. The instructor really broke it down, and we did a lot of drills, and so that's really good. It's like close to my target too, so I'm sure I'll be back and I will keep you all updated. Then I tried Brickhouse, and I did love Brickhouse. It's just that the time slot and the location, it's all the way in Times Square, doesn't work for me anymore. But they have an adult beginner hip-hop class, and so that was with Desi, and I loved it. And the way I was introduced to Brickhouse, I was getting ads to, like, if you volunteered at the open house, you'll get a class pack. And so that was a fun experience, like, just to be introduced to the community, which is like a lot more diverse than steps. So, and then this is my other experience I have to share about Brickhouse. So I needed to use the credits before they expired, and there was one class that like worked with my schedule, and it was with Medina Basquiat of the House of Basquiat, and she was doing a Vogue workshop, little pop-up situation, and I was like, let me see, like, if she comments me back and says that it's beginner friendly, then I'll go. I comment her post, and I'm like, hey, it's okay if you don't have any Vogue experience? And she was like, of course. And then I show up, and she was like, okay, I know somebody asked me if it's okay if you don't have any Vogue experience. I'm sorry, but I made this routine and it's an advanced routine. But she was still so encouraging, excellent teacher. I hope she comes back. Come back to New York, Medina. Just really great. She talked to all of us after, and you can even see in the video and hear her in the video that where she like walks by me, and then like I forget a move, especially when we were getting down to the floor work, and you could hear her. She was like, you got this. And she's just like, she's a baddie. And there were experienced Voguers in that class, and I did not feel judged or left out or falling behind. I had fun and I learned. And even like the little, like there are things that I won't forget from that class about like just like the way we make, you know, different shapes. She was like, I'm so proud of you. And so Trisha Basquiat, she's my Vogue mother. So highly recommend Brickhouse. Another $25 drop in. And then I finally recently tried BDC, Broadway Dance Center. It's just so far. If Brickhouse is far, it's like further down Times Square. It is where Moulin Rouge is. And so it's just so far. And then same thing with Peri Dance, like multi studio building, and the classes are massive, and like the windows are not open. So it was getting, and with a lot of body heat in there, I was gonna pass out. But I took a class with Q, and we did Fat, Juicy, and Wet by Bruno Mars. But I came when this was their second class on that routine, so everybody knew it, not me. I learned it in one class, so I definitely knew I would have ate if I had that extra class. But I still had fun, and that's what I've been craving, to just like hit a choreo like that. And so that was fun. And I know they have a lot of other classes. There's like, what is it called? It is basically, it's kind of like the pop style one, but the way they describe it is like a heels class without the heels, where it's just like very, again, like backup dancer choreography. So I would love to try that, or like a jazz funk situation. And I know they have singing classes there too. And so that's like more on the affordable side, since vocal coaches in New York City are like, people say like 85 an hour is good. So drop-in classes at BDC are $25 also. So those are my experiences. So I'm a PMT girly through and through. But if you go to any dance class in New York City, you are set up for success and growth, and just most importantly, and what I love the most, is being surrounded by people who love to dance. And when you're surrounded by people who love to dance, like, you're gonna feel it, and that's what's important. Even if you don't remember the choreography, just feel the song, remember what you remember, trust your instincts, and just don't stop moving, both in the class and when you start taking dance classes. That's how you'll grow. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna hit my 3-year anniversary. And so I will keep you updated on my journey. I really want to work my way to learning a full song. I want to maybe sign up for like a winter or summer showcase, so I could like work my way to a performance. Those are maybe a professional video at some point. So those are my big dance goals coming up. So I hope this was helpful, and maybe I will see you in a dance class. All my love, always and always, for dance and for you. I'm Trisha Fuerte, and this is Fuerte Body.